Now I want to have a look at some of the advanced diagnostics, and I'm going to look at some of the options that are here, and then I'll do a live demonstration for you of some of these so that you can actually see them in working in practice. First one to start with is the event viewer. Now the event viewer is your friend. The event viewer is wonderful. It stores all the events that occur within Windows 7. There are some exceptions. I mean, I've encountered some myself recently, but it's generally speaking, it will store everything. It will store warnings, it will store errors, it will store critical events that cause Windows to crash and to blue screen. It will store all sorts of information like that, and it will keep a log of all of this so that you can go back historically and look at all of the errors that have occurred in Windows since you installed it, and it can store a lot of information about these codes, such as the error code themselves, which is very useful for looking up online. If you're ever presented with an error code, and we're going to look at a blue screen of death in a bit, you can look up an error code online, and you'll find that you're not the first person to have had this problem, and that other people may have a quick and easy fix for you. But one of the most interesting things, and one of the little known things about the event viewer, is that you can actually trigger actions to occur when an event happens, and this is very useful in Enterprise. Now we'll have a live demonstration of this so you can actually see it working in a little while. But let's say you work in an Enterprise and you have a user who was reporting an intermittent fault. Now it's not actually stopping him from working, but something is going on. You've had a look at the event viewer on his computer, and you can see that perhaps his printer driver is crashing. But there's no visible outward sign on his screen that there's any problem. All he knows is that when he goes to print, then all of a sudden he can't. Now this could be caused by a conflict with a piece of bespoke software. It could be caused by the fact that he's plugging in a USB device that's causing a driver conflict. There could be anything. So what you can do is you can trigger specific actions, such as an alert on the screen to tell the user that this error has occurred again, stop what he's doing, and send information about his system at that time and what's running to a support person. And we'll have a look at how we can do this in a little bit. Now, performance information and tools can provide huge swathes of information, and this is something else we're going to have a look at. You access it by clicking Advanced Tools here in Performance Information and Tools, which you can access from the control panel. Typing performance into the search box in the start menu will get you there as well. There's a wide variety of tools, including a system health report, which is very, very useful for taking away and looking at afterwards. I find one of the biggest issues with troubleshooting problems is that sometimes you're too close to it. Sometimes you really can't see the wood for the trees. You're there, you've got this problem, you're determined to fix it, and there are occasions where you just need to take a step back and you need to take some time, and you can print out the system health report and you can look at it on the train on the way home, or the following morning, and you can then sometimes see things that you wouldn't have seen if you were so close to it and so determined to fix it there and then. And we're going to look at performance information tools later in a live demo. Now, Problem Steps Recorder. This was a lovely little tool that was introduced with the beta of Windows 7, and beta testers loved it so much that Microsoft decided to keep it. You won't find it in the Start menu, you won't find it in Performance Information and Tools, you won't find it in the Computer Management Console, but if you type PSR into the search box in the Start menu, you will find it there. So, what does it do? It records your screen, and it does all sorts of other things as well. So let's say you're having a problem with a bit of software, something's crashing, and you can have a user work through the steps of what happens when they create when that error occurs. It will record the screen. It will highlight, as you can see here, there's a box in green. It will highlight any area of the screen that is active. In this case, we can see we're looking at the event viewer in this case, and we can see that there's the left-hand panel of that is where the mouse cursor is. That's what's active, and therefore that area is highlighted. And as well as saving, it doesn't save it as a video, it saves it as a series of screenshots, so that every time something is clicked on, every time something changes on the screen, it will take a screenshot. But with that screenshot, it will save all sorts of additional information about what is happening with Windows at the time, what is running, and it's a really, really good way of being able to diagnose problems. So, these files that are produced by the Problem Steps Recorder, can be automatically emailed by the software itself, but you'll probably find that you need to have Outlook or another email client installed on your computer, or they can be saved, and if you're using webmail, such as Hotmail, Windows Live Mail, you can then attach this file to an email and send it to a support person, or have a user send it to you if you are the support person. Right, and the last thing I want to look at here before we go to the demo is the blue screen of death, and how we actually get useful information from the blue screen of death. Because there's a lot of text there, not a lot of it is very useful, and there's really just two things about the blue screen of death that are really useful. These two things, you can see I've highlighted them here and I've underlined them. One of which is the error name, and the other of which, further down the page, is the actual stop error code. These two bits of information, when you get a blue screen of death, these two bits of information are really good for looking up on the internet. And here we've got a little bit of text behind our image, but sometimes when you get a blue screen of death, it will appear for about 2 or 3 seconds, and then your computer will restart and you won't get to read it. If that happens, then you want to get to the Windows 7 boot menu, which means pressing the F8 key between the BIOS disappearing and between the Windows 7 logo loading logo appearing to bring up the boot menu, and from the boot menu select the option Disable Automatic Restart on System Failure. Once that is selected, then the next time you get a blue screen of death, it will just stay on that blue screen, and you'll be able to see the error name, you'll be able to see the error code, you'll be able to write them down, and the next time you restart your PC or on another PC, you'll be able to look that up online and get more information on it. So now we'll have a live demonstration now, and we'll just switch over to this.